So I imagine many of you who are here know a little bit about the origins of art and technology interaction, but I'm just going to focus on a couple little moments in time here. The origins of art and technology interaction can be traced probably even earlier than this, but these are a few notable projects: the European Musique Concrete and Electronische Musique, and the residency of Edgar Verrees at Philips Lab in Eindhoven in the Netherlands in the 1940s. Ben Lepusky's work Oscillion 40, made by Ben Lepusky in the 1950s, which was using an oscilloscope to manipulate electronic waves, shown on small fluorescent screen displaying the wave of the shape of an electronic signal. And this comes from the V&A website. And then other big corporate R&D artistic residencies, such as Xerox PARC's artistic residencies in the 60s, IBM with William Latham in the 1990s, Sony Computer, sorry there's a problem here, but a science laboratory with Atao Tanaka from 2001 and 2007. So this is sort of a background to where we are today. What is ICT and Art Connect, and what are we doing? So I came into this project after a workshop that I was involved in Brussels last April in 2012. And I will let the EC contact, who is now our project officer, talk a little bit more about where that started in a moment. But I was invited to be a part of this, and what came from that is that we needed to do a little bit more look at how the tech community and the art community can come together and work together on various projects that benefit both. So what we're doing is trying to, with this project and the 5 partners that we have involved, Brunel University, Sigma Orianas, Stromatolite, Vogue Society, and the Black Cube Collective, we're trying to, in various countries around Europe, bring these communities together, like we're doing today, to discuss what are the essential methods and ways of collaborating, what's working, what's not working, how we can send some new suggestions to the European Union to how we can make these kinds of collaborations stronger. So through a number of different kinds of activities, we are trying to catalyze that process. So part of it is our online community, and I'll show you this again. Another part of it is the event like today. We're having another one in a month's time here in London, but we're having several around Europe, and I'll show you that list in a moment. Asking your feedback, how we can make this process of collaboration between the art and technology communities stronger, and then bringing those communities together in a face-to-face activity to start some new projects. And from those face-to-face interactions, we'd like to then see if that can go further. And we have, each partner can support a residency, and I'll talk a bit more about that, from those matchmaking events. Some of the questions we want to address with this project is, how can we further stimulate dialogue between art and ICT, or art and technologies? That I was told that Dorkbot 85 a month ago that we need to, in the UK, call it technology, because ICT has a slightly tarnished image here in the UK. What can technology and art bring to each other? So what can ICT or technology bring to art, and what can art bring to ICT? How can artists contribute to the technology innovations that are taking place? What novel solutions can we imagine from this interaction? How can this co-creation between art and ICT best be facilitated? And that's some of the things we're going to talk about today. How can art and ICT collaboration best enhance citizen engagement and innovations in ICT? Now, this is a specific question for this project. as we are funded through the Future Emerging Technologies program of European Commission. So that's something specific we do want to get out of this process today as well. Some of the recent activities that we've engaged in, we had an art tech hackathon in October at the NEM Summit in Nantes, France. We had a sort of a small art gallery, pop-up art gallery at a big ICT conference in Vilnius in November. We did a very intensive, similar to a hackathon, a 3-day intensive interaction between artists and technologists in Brussels in November, and then took those seed project ideas and presented them in the European Parliament. This all happened, all of those 3 events happened within 2 weeks' time. And then we went to Scottish Parliament and talked about this initiative a bit further. So you're going to see what happens at our events, but just to give you an overview, we're really trying to get you, the audience, to talk about what your experiences are and what you'd like to suggest as experts. We also have some other experts who've been nurturing collaborations between art and technology for many years to come and talk about what they've seen, what methodologies they think work, what they've seen maybe doesn't work so well. And then we get some of you together, as many as have signed up, to really think about some new projects. Recently we had some articles written about us. The Vice President of the European Commission, Nelly Kroes, was quite pleased with our pop-up installation at this ICT conference in Vilnius and wrote a little bit about that. We've also had an article in Empirica talking about the European Parliament presentations, and at Brunel we've been spreading the word widely about what we're up to our colleagues and our peers. And here's a list of some other events that are coming up in very quick succession over the next few months. So if you have colleagues or peers in other countries that you think might be interested in getting involved, we'd really love you to spread the word. And from each of these events, we're getting people to, after the matchmaking session, start a proposal and get something in for a new project idea. And then those will be selected from our panel of experts and brought to our attention, and we'll select some so that each partner has a few residencies to start and get some interesting ideas going. What happens at a residency? We're offering these pairings that result from the matchmaking events 1 day to 3 months to get together in a location of their choice. Any of the partners will host these, and we will assess which are more appropriate for which partner based on our facilities and what they hope to do in that project. But also, they may want to work, if it's a technology company who wants an artist to come into their company, they can choose how they use the funding that we provide, perhaps to facilitate that. They can go into an artist studio together and work. How they use it, they need to tell us, but this is what we're trying to facilitate and nurture, these groups getting together where they feel best suited. These pairings will be monitored over that period of time and have some mentoring from the project partner. The results of the collaborative processes and overall interaction will be analyzed by us, and we'll take some of what we're seeing, or most of what we're seeing, to the European Commission and tell them this is what we see happening here, and some patterns we see emerging from these pilot projects. And they're kind of like case studies for us to develop a stronger toolkit of what is working and how can we make better art and technology collaborations. So I think we're almost done here. We have one slide here is how are we going to try to sustain this? Because this is really a catalyst. These are not massive project funding opportunities. They're catalyst seeds. But we're trying to combine our efforts and really spread the word and this will have some sustainability. We want all of you, practitioners and organizations, to have your say and help us start another conversation about how to make this stronger. And we're supporting each other's initiatives and your initiatives, and want to share all that knowledge that we have amongst us with the European Commission. So finally, what we hope to achieve, we want to really, and this is based on a report that came out of the initial workshop last year in Brussels. Some of the things we hope to achieve with this. We hope to move the ICT and art intersection interaction from the broad frame of digital humanities, the domain of creative industries and SMEs, toward a more specific and direct impact beyond business. We'd like to encourage ICT or technology specialists to work with artists on an equal basis on either EU or other funded, individually countrywide, nationwide funded project initiatives to show the technology community the value that artists can bring to their initiatives. We want to help organizations and companies to consider new organizational structures that facilitate the interaction of artists and ICT projects, and perhaps bring artists into various companies, and to develop some operational schemes to include artists in funded projects beyond dissemination of technological innovations. So, how to get involved? Join our online community. We want to really hear your voices. Join our mailing list, come to some of our other events, get involved in our social media discussions. If you have a collaborative idea, please come tomorrow and pitch it at the matchmaking session and submit a proposal.